Now, at least 7 people have been killed and several injured in an overnight Russian missile and drone attack in the Kyiv region. At least 6 of those who died were in a high-rise building in the capital. Kyiv's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, said, adding that 19 others were injured in the city. It's also been announced that President Zelensky will be travelling to the UK today. Well, let's head live to Kyiv and our international news reporter, Joel Gunter, who's there. And Joel, just tell us, what do we know about these latest strikes on the Kyiv region?
Yes, hello. Another very, very heavy night of strikes in the Ukrainian capital here in Kyiv. As you said, at least 7 people known to have been killed in the Kyiv region, 2 more beyond Kyiv in Ukraine. A very significant attack, dozens more wounded. President Zelensky said this morning that more than 350 drones were launched by Russia into Ukraine and 16 missiles. So this was a big wave of attacks. It follows a pattern recently, an increase by Russia in sending these very large waves designed to overwhelm Ukrainian air defenses, sending thousands of people across the capital and beyond down to shelters for long hours through the night.
And Joel, as we mentioned there, President Zelensky is visiting the UK today. He'll be holding talks with the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. This, of course, ahead of the NATO summit happening in The Hague. A lot of the international attention is focused on developments happening in the Middle East at the moment. But what is Ukraine hoping to come out of this summit in terms of its war with Russia?
So for Ukraine, for President Zelensky, the strikes overnight, the very heavy strikes that we saw here last week, will underscore the country's desperate need for ongoing military support from its European partners and from the US. That is really the key for Ukraine. President Zelensky had hoped to meet President Trump last week at the G7 summit. It was a highly anticipated bilateral. President Trump left the conference early, meaning that meeting was cancelled, which was a blow for Zelensky. As you mentioned, he is in London today, meeting the Prime Minister. Defence talks will be on the top of the agenda. The UK, a very important defence partner for Ukraine. And again, as you mentioned, the NATO summit upcoming. Now, we know that President Zelensky is attending. We know that President Trump is attending. What's not clear is whether the two plan to meet. What is clear is that Ukraine really needs ongoing US support for this war.
Joel, thank you. That's the BBC's Joel Gunter in Kyiv there.